What's up guys, Strictly Street here, and today I'll be showing y'all how to drive a manual vehicle. I'll start with, that is going to be your brake, your foot brake. This is your clutch pedal on the left, the middle is your brake pedal, and the right is your gas pedal. And this is the release for the brake, your parking brake. So, this is your shifter right here. As you can see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this is a 5-speed transmission. The vehicle that I'll be teaching you on is a 2001 Ram 3500 with a Cummins 5.9. So as y'all can see, reverse is off to the bottom right. A lot of 6-speed vehicles, reverse will be all the way over to the left. It'll be just reverse by itself all the way to the left. So there'll be a line between 1 and 2 that goes off to the left, and then it'll go down. And that's where your reverse will be on most 6-speed vehicles. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start her up. So, to start her up, you want to make sure the clutch is in, okay? And I like to put the vehicle in neutral, so you want to make sure it's in the middle in neutral. Just because after you start it, if your foot were to slip off of the clutch and you have it in gear, the truck is going to jump, or the vehicle in general is going to jump, and you could either hit something or you're going to look dumb because you stalled out the vehicle. Okay, so clutch in, vehicle is in neutral. Let's start her up. Close the door. Okay, now you can start the vehicle in gear. As long as you have the clutch in, it doesn't really matter. But I always start it in neutral just because it's safer. If you're, like I said, if your foot slips off the clutch and it's in neutral, you don't have to worry about anything. The truck will stay running, the truck's not going to go anywhere, so you're good. Now if you leave it in gear, the truck is going to jump, the vehicle is going to jump, and you can hit something, or at the very least, you're going to stall out. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our seatbelt on. Alright, so, first things first, I have the parking brake on, so I got to disengage the parking brake, which is handle off to my left. Okay, that's disengaged. Now, clutch is in. Put it into first gear. Alright, now, this truck is geared so low that I don't have to give it any gas to start out with. So I just ease the clutch out, and you'll feel when the clutch is finally completely released, and then you can start giving it gas in. But a lot of cars, you're going to have to give it a little bit of gas. So I recommend practicing giving it a little bit of gas as you ease out the clutch, because most cars are going to require that. Like a lot of cars, if you don't give it any gas, you'll end up stalling out. So give it a little bit of gas, put it in first gear, clutch in, give it a little bit of gas, ease the clutch out. Okay, clutch is fully released, accelerate. Clutch in, off the gas, next gear, release the clutch and give it gas at the same time. So, basically what I mean by that is, when you're shifting gears, you're basically going to push in the clutch and let off the gas at the same time. So, as your clutch is going in, your gas is coming off. So, it's going to be the same thing basically when you put it into gear and you're engaging the vehicle back into that gear, but it's just the opposite. So let's go ahead and do it again. Clutch in, next gear, gas and clutch out. It's that easy. Now, a lot of people get really overwhelmed when they think about driving a standard vehicle when they don't know how to. And I can see how it is kind of frustrating and how you can kind of be overwhelmed by that, but it's not difficult whatsoever. It's really not. Like, I'm not able to use my right hand and I can still safely drive a manual vehicle. So we're going to release the clutch, ease it out, we're going now, clutch in, next gear, clutch out and give it gas. So yeah, I'm able to drive a standard vehicle with one arm. So it's really not difficult whatsoever. It's just a matter of don't have to start off in first gear. Like for example, in this vehicle, I start out in second gear most of the time, but because I'm showing you guys just the overall basics, if you're learning out, I recommend starting in first just because it's going to be a little easier for you. So, give it gas, ease the clutch out, we're going, clutch in off the gas, next gear, clutch out on the gas. It's that simple. There's really nothing else left to it. Okay, now as far as turning the vehicle off, go ahead and do that again. Throw it into neutral. We're coasting. We're slowing down right here. Okay, and we're at a stop. Now, when you turn the vehicle off, you want the clutch in. Make sure you have the clutch in. Okay, and next thing, it doesn't really matter if you turn the vehicle off in neutral, as long as you have the parking brake on. But you do not want to turn the vehicle off in neutral and not have the parking brake on, because then if you're on any type of slope, your vehicle is going to roll and it can either hit someone, hit something, hit a vehicle. It can seriously hurt somebody, if not kill somebody. So it's really important that you have the parking brake on if you're going to turn it off in neutral. Now, I highly recommend having the parking brake on regardless of if the vehicle's in neutral or if you leave the vehicle in gear. So this is what I mean. Okay, so the vehicle's in gear, and I'm going to turn it off in gear. Clutch in, turn it off, clutch out, foot stays on the brake, push in the foot brake. And then now I can let off. The truck has the brake on and it's in gear. So this truck is not going to go anywhere. So this is the safest way to play it. Now, you could just leave it in gear, turn it off, and not really worry about the parking brake, because being that it's in gear, the truck should not roll. The truck should not roll. It might roll a little bit, but then it's going to catch and it's not going to roll any further. So one more quick thing, guys. In a manual vehicle, if you ever get into trouble, push the clutch in. Because when you do that, let me put the brake back on. But when you do that, the vehicle's in neutral, essentially. The transmission is not engaged, so you are basically in neutral. So if you ever get into serious trouble where you're kind of freaking out, push the clutch in. And at slow speeds, you know, like for those of y'all just starting out, at slow speeds, you can even turn the vehicle off. Now, what I will say is that if you just turn the vehicle off without the clutch in gear, it's going to shut off really roughly. It's probably going to jerk, being that it's in gear, it's going to turn off and probably just lock up and be really rough. But in an emergency situation, you know, I mean, that could really save you, you know what I mean? So I'd say that's the absolutely last resort. If you absolutely feel like you have to do that in order to safely get out of that situation, by all means do so. But if possible, just push in the clutch, throw it into neutral, slow down, and that's basically it. So start it back up in neutral, leave the brake on for right now. Starts right up. Okay, park the brake off. Put it into first gear. Give it gas. Ease the clutch out. Clutch in, gas off. Clutch out, gas on. And that's it. That's really all it is to it. It's really easy. And you just cycle through the gears. And that's basically it. Well, guys, I hope y'all found this video very informative. And for those of y'all that don't know how to drive manual, I hope y'all do now. And it's really just a matter of practicing. The more you practice, the better you get. Same with anything else that you ever do. So I highly recommend practicing. But this video will give you the basics. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe. And if you have friends that don't know how to drive manual, tell them about my channel. Tell them about this video. Show them this video. And then That way they'll learn the basics and then they can get to driving a manual vehicle. Thanks guys, see you later.